And we're going to go ahead and just jump right in with our first speaker, Dr. Larry Miller, who's going to talk about AI here at GTC. So Dr. Miller, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Excellent. Rachel, thanks so much. And thank you for moderating today. And thank you to CPE and Tanya for organizing this session. There is so much happening in this space right now. And we just kind of threw this out about 2 months ago saying we've got to get something on the calendar. We've got to get folks, we've got a lot of expertise in-house. A lot of things are happening nationally. We've got to get this some attention and college-wide airtime. So I appreciate all of your help. I will say for me personally, ChatGPT has really been a game changer professionally and helping me as a brainstorming partner. And I'm just kind of blown away by the capacity of that. That's what got me excited about it. I recently had the chance to ride in an AI powered Waymo self-driving car in Arizona, and that truly felt like I was stepping into the future. We took a 13-minute ride. It happened to be a time when Uber was on strike for better wages, and I needed to get from A to B. Downloaded the app, and within 90 seconds, I was riding in a car. I got there on time very safely. So obviously, the ramifications for our political system, for wages, for technology, for safety, there's so many things I could talk about just in that little experience, but it was transformative. I also had a meeting yesterday with a thought leader in this space, an educator who runs a sort of a for-profit school nationally on software engineering, cyber, AI. His team stood up in 2 weeks an AI-powered chatbot that's a tutor and tech support for their students, and it's transformed their institution. They've been able to take off, providing services for students through a care team, which is just incredibly fast. And obviously, they've got a tech-savvy customer base, but it's just changing things quickly. He also talked about he had AI write a chemistry textbook for them. Chemistry faculty assessed it, felt it was spot on. So we've been talking about the hope and promise of OER, and it's like, wow, is AI already there to sort of change that game? And then where he pivoted and started to really get interesting to me was saying, well, could we have textbooks for one? So a truly personalized textbook where, for instance, Rachel, we learn all of your interests in strengths finders and mediation, let's say, and now you're taking an English class and all of your reading and your assignments are dialed into what you're interested in, your career goals, your personal passions, like that could be here. So that's just, yeah, I hadn't even thought that far into it, but anyway, all that stuff gets me excited. Obviously, I have concerns about where this is going to go from an academic integrity perspective. So I'll talk about that in a minute. So let me just advance my slide. I love this title, is really fancy and says everything I want to talk about. This is what I wrote. It's really AI at GTC, so I'm just cutting to the chase. I really only have 3 slides, including after this one with a video, so I'm going to jump right into them. The first one is you might be asking yourself, if you're a faculty or staff member, does Greenville Tech have an AI policy and a set of procedures to support that? The answer is that currently we do not. However, we have formed an AI task force in collaboration with Faculty Senate. And you can see the name of the folks, both faculty and staff, who have volunteered their time and energy to serve on that task force. The task force really, if there's a charge for it, and we do have a charter for that group, but really the charge is to both protect us and our students, from the dangers and risks around AI, and also at the same time ensure that we're leveraging the power of AI so that our students don't get left behind here at school and then in the marketplace. So that's sort of the approach I think that we're taking to everything here. So I really want to thank everyone who's involved in this work. They are forming now. Like I said, the charter's been written, and they'll review that charter at their first meeting. From the day they convene, they have 6 months to make those policy recommendations. So you can expect those to be delivered by the end of this calendar year, and certainly on our professional duty days and those first few days when we get back in January of 25. There'll be meetings talking about what those recommendations are and adopting those for the college, which should give the group some time to really come up with some good things. I also just want to share for those really interested in how do you develop these policies and procedures, League for Innovation in the community college. That QR code is a really nice article. You can just snap that on your screen. And it talked about one institution's approach, and so something that you can learn more about from them. You might also be asking yourself, or certainly I'm asking myself this all the time, as Greenville Tech takes an increasing role nationally, right, as leaders in many spaces. You can see that in our Newsweek work. We're doing work with SME and Tooling U, one of 25 institutions, trying to increase the number of advanced manufacturing workers and students enrolled in those programs by 1,000 here at our institution every year, 3,000 over the next 3 years, for a total of 75,000 new workers nationally. Those are big projects Greenville Tech's involved in. Those are just two examples. You can think of many others. So we need to be involved also in the AI conversation, and fortunately we are. Many of you know about our Complete College America work, which has worked on transitional studies reform. It's worked on a strategic finance project around student success. It's working under the leadership of Michael Porter and Jill Walker on implementing guided pathways, which we're already in year 2 on. And we're about to announce an advising reform effort that will roll out next year. So all of those things are underway under the umbrella of Complete College America. Well, another thing that we're doing with Complete College America is the Council on Equitable AI. And you can see the esteemed group of institutions, both funders and national organizers, like the Aspen Institute and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and the United Negro College Fund, as well as and I know our old logo is in there, but we joined before we rebranded, so we'll certainly get that up there. But it's just nice to see us up there with a lot of MSIs, HBCUs, and majority Pell serving institutions. We're a group that collectively serves or represents about 90% of students in America, but also at institutions that are historically under-resourced. And we want to make sure that we act collectively to put the interests of our students first. I'm going to show you a quick video on that, but I do want to draw your attention to one other QR code. I promise it's the last one, but you'll see it in the bottom right corner. That's Complete College America's website, where all of the reports on implementing AI in higher ed can be found. It's a great resource. I highly recommend bookmarking that. It continues to update, and we use that quite a bit. So let me play on that. I'm going to go to my video. So the council kicked off at Arizona State University just a few months ago, and you'll see in this video a lot of my colleagues speaking about the work that we're trying to do on that council. I do serve on that council. Thankfully, I wasn't interviewed for it, but you can see me in the background of some of the places we visited. So this video is just 3 minutes, so I'm going to play that now if everything works. Rachel, do you want me to click it, or is that okay? All right, here we go. Come on. Okay, maybe you need to click it, Rachel.
This AI Equity Council is really important because it brings together partners from across the country who are entering the conversations from different vantage points. We're really learning this together. This is new technology that is emerging, moment by moment, and it feels good to have a partnership where we know that if we have questions, we have folks that we can rely on, and also, add our voice to that conversation to make sure that communities like the ones throughout the state of New Mexico, tribal communities, traditional Hispano communities, borderlands communities are represented in these conversations. So I've been really honored to be a part of this visit to Arizona State University, to be able to participate and see what's going on with the Dreamscape Lab. It's really just been very exciting. And for me, equity is how do we partner with institutions like ASU to make sure that we're able to offer similar kinds of classes and experiences, not just here at the ASU campus, but throughout the Southwest.
I'm hoping to achieve a change around student support and engagement in the community with the faculty and staff. I believe that we can use it in order to remove the barriers, the biases that we all do have. This will help the graduation rate, this will help the enrollment rate, supporting the staff and supporting the students in a way that we can continue to move forward together. Without making that change, ultimately we'll fail.
So I always harken back to what happened with the internet in terms of rural communities getting left behind. And this is an opportunity for that not to happen again. So we don't have the missing millions that we're looking at right now, where, minority serving institutions are under-resourced and, basically ignored. Well, we're here to say we're not going to be ignored in terms of AI. We need to be at the table, letting you know what we need.
Something that just stood out in our meeting yesterday was making information inescapable. And how do we make sure that students are aware of the many support services that are provided to them? When students start at the community college, they're inundated with information. How can we expect students to remember all that information? What if there was something that was accessible to them that did not judge them, that they can ask a question about a situation that they're experiencing, and they can get that information right away?
The council is an avenue for these entities to talk to the MSIs that are directly impacting the students. I mean, MSIs provide, smaller colleges and those kind of things provide education to like 90% of the students in this country. And you can't just leave them behind and say, we only want the top 10%, because all the workers, by and large, are going to come from those smaller institutions. So the council is a bridge for those places to get access, share things, partnerships, consortium groups, all those kind of things. So give us a call.
Thank you. I'm glad that tech worked, Rachel. It'd be embarrassing on an AI topic if it did not. So I'm just going to wrap up. So the council, we're proud of that work. And Rachel, if you can advance, I'm sorry, it's not doing that on my end. We will be, just one more slide.
Equity Council is really important because
we'll be meeting for a day on the Hill in June to advocate for our work, and also have a chance to talk with leaders from the Department of Ed on what our needs are, designing grants and opportunities for Greenville Technical College and our students. So more to come on that. Last question I've got is, has AI already shaped the future at Greenville Tech? That's a resounding yes. What you're looking at here is some renderings of our new Center for Workforce Development. This is the new welding facility, which, if you've been to our current welding facilities, you can see this is already going to be a game changer for our students in our school. But we had the chance to go visit Liberty, and you'll see them in the bottom left corner. And it looks like nothing fancy, but right there on that gentleman's hand, that's Matt, our sales rep. He's got a pipe welder, an orbital welder that will fit and use AI technology to lay down a weld properly without a welder putting that down themselves. Now, that's really important. We talk about safety of AI. This is where AI is actually going to make your job, our graduates' job, safer. When you see that row of pipes in the field, the way it was described to me, and I'm not a welder, although I have had the chance to now laser weld and virtual weld on our trips. And yes, Giulietti did beat me on virtual welding. I'm just going to go on the record and let you know that my score was lower, but we will have a rematch soon. That typically in a plant, you might see 3 or 4 rows of pipes like that. And our graduates, welders, have to reach in around all those pipes, sometimes on a ladder, to try to lay down those orbital welds. And that's a lot of work on someone's body. It exposes you to fumes, your eyes. So if you're thinking about workplace safety, using a machine like this can increase your productivity by 4 to 5 times and make that job a lot safer, a job you want to be in for the long haul. And that means our students need to have skills like quality control, critical thinking, the technical skills to manage the technology that underlies AI more than they have to actually apply the welds in scenarios like this. So we're very excited about that. And then the last thing I'll say, we will have this equipment. Our students will learn how to use it. We'll invite the community to learn how to use it in the field. That'll help them generate greater profits, right? Be more efficient. So we want to be a leader for economic development as well as workforce development in that space. Last thing you'll see is just the working title. Many of you have heard of the Center for Industrial Cybersecurity and Artificial Intelligence. We hope to open that in 2027. We have folks that are working on the programming for that building right now. And we actually, thanks to Elizabeth Varga, submitted a $6 million grant for that project earlier in the week. So just lots of exciting things happening here, lots more to come. And I'll leave it there. I'm happy to answer 1 or 2 questions. I think I went over on time, even with only 4 slides. So my apologies, and thank you, Rachel.